Zara, your career chart does not describe someone who is meant to remain invisible, obedient, or professionally dependent forever. It describes a woman who must first learn how complicated systems really work, survive environments that test her intelligence, and then rise by becoming the strategist, architect, reformer, or authority whom others call when ordinary solutions have failed. The central mystery in your chart is that people may initially see refinement, diplomacy, adaptability, or softness, while your professional core is far more intense. Beneath the composed exterior sits a sharp investigative mind, a competitive execution engine, strong commercial awareness, and an instinct for identifying what is inefficient, dishonest, outdated, or structurally weak. You are not built merely to follow a process. You are built to understand the process, challenge it, redesign it, and eventually own it. The natal career blueprint. Your natal ascendant is Aquarius and Shatabhisha, with Venus rising in Dhanishta. Aquarius gives the systems thinker, social observer, reformer, innovator, and person who naturally sees patterns across people, technology, institutions, and society. Shatabhisha adds diagnosis, secrecy, research, healing, technology, psychological depth, and the urge to discover what lies underneath visible behavior. Venus in the ascendant gives diplomacy, aesthetic intelligence, relationship management, negotiation ability, and the capacity to present difficult ideas without always appearing confrontational. However, Venus in Dhanishta is not passive beauty. It wants achievement, influence, participation in powerful networks, and tangible success. This combination means you may appear cooperative, but internally you are measuring everything. You notice who is competent, who is pretending, where the money is moving, who controls the decision, and which system will eventually collapse. Your ascendant lord Saturn occupies Taurus in the 4th house, while Venus, the ruler of Taurus, occupies Aquarius, Saturn's sign. This creates a powerful Saturn-Venus exchange. Even more importantly, the same Saturn-Venus exchange repeats in your Dashamsha. When the same planetary relationship repeats in the natal and career charts, it becomes a defining professional signature. Saturn and Venus together combine structure with creativity, discipline with diplomacy, finance with systems, beauty with engineering, people management with governance, and long-term responsibility with refined judgment. Your career must therefore combine two worlds. One side needs intelligence, structure, rules, technical depth, accountability, finance, or institutional responsibility. The other side needs people, communication, design, relationship management, negotiation, value creation, or aesthetic awareness. You are unlikely to feel fulfilled in a career that is only technical and emotionally barren. You are equally unlikely to respect a career that is attractive but intellectually shallow. Saturn shares Taurus with Rahu in the 4th house. This can create a deep internal feeling that professional security is never completely secure. Even when the external job appears stable, you may sense instability beneath the surface. There may be organizational politics, relocations, changes of management, disrupted education, changing professional foundations, or the feeling that you must build your own security because institutions cannot be trusted to provide it. This combination can make you remain in an environment longer than you should because you're trying to make it safe, predictable, or workable. However, your chart repeatedly shows that your security will come from portable expertise, not employer loyalty alone. Your professional safety lies in qualifications, documented knowledge, specialist competence, financial reserves, strong networks, and intellectual property that travels with you. Your 10th house contains the moon in Jyeshta and Ketu in Anuradha in Scorpio. This is one of the strongest signatures for career intensity, psychological transformation, confidential work, investigation, crisis management, and periodic detachment from conventional success. Jyeshta wants seniority. It wants control over difficult situations. It wants to protect, manage, supervise, and remain indispensable when the environment becomes unstable. This moon does not want trivial responsibility. It wants to become the person who understands the hidden power structure. Ketu in Anuradha adds research, loyalty, networks, devotion, and pattern recognition, but it also creates detachment. You may work intensely toward a professional goal, achieve it, and then suddenly question why it mattered. You may receive a title that others admire and privately feel emotionally disconnected from it. This is not ingratitude. It is a sign that your career must contain depth and meaning. Status without purpose will eventually feel empty. The moon is your sixth lord, placed in the 10th house. Daily work, competition, colleagues, service, conflict, and problem-solving become inseparable from career. Your professional life will rarely be completely relaxed. You are often placed in situations where something must be corrected, defended, diagnosed, reorganized, or rescued. You may repeatedly attract environments where other people have created confusion, and you are expected to restore order. The 10th Lord Mars occupies the 11th house in Sagittarius in Purva Ashada. This is excellent for professional gains through organizations, networks, leadership groups, multinational environments, communities, audiences, and alliances. Mars in Purva Ashada fights through conviction, persuasion, strategy, campaigning, and intellectual force. You are capable of pushing an idea through resistance, but you must be careful not to turn every disagreement into a battle of principles. Your 2nd and 11th Lord Jupiter is exalted in the 6th house in Pushya. This is a major wealth through service signature. Income, professional gains, advisory ability, institutional support, and knowledge grow when you solve real problems. You do not gain by avoiding difficult work. You gain by becoming unusually good at handling what others find tedious, complicated, political, technical, emotionally demanding, or ethically sensitive. Exalted Jupiter in the 6th can make you a guide, teacher, advisor, counselor, analyst, legal thinker, ethical authority, or respected institutional professional. However, it can also make you carry the problems of colleagues, teams, clients, or organizations that refuse to take responsibility for themselves. Your generosity must develop boundaries, otherwise competence becomes exploitation. Your Sun and Mercury occupy Pisces in the 2nd house. This connects communication, speech, knowledge, finance, clients, creativity, research, and commercial value. You can think symbolically and intuitively, but others may not always understand the full structure of your thought unless you make it explicit. You may see the entire pattern internally and then become frustrated when other people only hear fragments. Your correction is non-negotiable. Document your reasoning, define assumptions, quantify recommendations, separate fact from intuition, and confirm important decisions in writing. Your authority grows when insight becomes structured language. The Dashamsha professional engine, your Dashamsha ascendant, is Gemini in Mrigashira, with Mars almost exactly rising. The professional Zara is faster, sharper, more direct, and more competitive than people initially expect. Gemini brings communication, analysis, information, business, adaptability, technology, coordination, and intellectual mobility. Mrigashira searches. It investigates, compares, experiments, and refuses to accept the first answer. Mars rising adds urgency, technical action, courage, execution, and the willingness to confront obstacles. You are highly suited to entering a confused situation, identifying the moving pieces, challenging weak assumptions, and forcing the project toward action. This is powerful for technology, engineering, analytics, consulting, product development, systems work, strategic operations, crisis management, technical program leadership, digital transformation, and research-oriented professions. The shadow is impatience. When people communicate vaguely, move slowly, avoid accountability, or hide behind procedure, your tone can become sharper than you realize. You may be correct and still lose support because of how the truth is delivered. Your professional evolution requires you to retain Martian decisiveness while removing unnecessary aggression. Mars rules your 6th and 11th houses in the Dashamsha and occupies the ascendant. Competition, problem-solving, organizational gains, technical capability, workload, team conflict, and network power become part of your professional identity. You are noticed when you take ownership. You become frustrated when confined to coordination without authority. Your Dashamsha 10th house is Pisces, occupied by the Moon and Rahu in Uttara Bhadrapada. This creates an unusual professional destiny involving public influence, changing career conditions, international environments, digital platforms, mass psychology, research, healing systems, creative strategy, technology-mediated work, or professions that combine data with human behavior. Moon with Rahu can create sudden visibility, unconventional opportunities, foreign connections, rapid career changes, and the ability to understand collective moods before others do. It can also create reputation anxiety, confusion about direction, emotional overstimulation, unstable management signals, or drastic swings between ambition and withdrawal. At times you may want public influence. At other times you may want to disappear completely. You must never allow attention, praise, algorithms, management approval, or public response to become the measurement of your worth. The 10th Lord Jupiter is exalted in Cancer in the 2nd house. The 2nd Lord Moon is in the 10th house. This creates a direct exchange between profession and income. Your career feeds earnings, while knowledge, speech, financial intelligence, advising, counseling, teaching, and value systems feed your profession. Jupiter also strengthens its own 10th house, showing recovery after setbacks and the potential for long-term professional relevance. This is a powerful consulting signature. You can earn by understanding complexity and translating it into direction. Exalted Saturn occupies Libra in the 5th house in Vishaka. This is one of the strongest placements in your professional chart. It gives disciplined intelligence, strategic patience, long-range planning, risk awareness, research capacity, team management, governance, process architecture, and the ability to build structures that survive beyond initial enthusiasm. Vishaka is ambitious and goal-oriented. Saturn here does not merely work hard. It wants results, authority, measurable achievement, and durable success. However, this placement can become overly controlled. You may become so focused on the correct process that you underestimate emotional resistance, political behavior, or the need to bring people along gradually. Saturn connects strongly with Mars, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, and Jupiter. This integrates engineering, management, finance, communication, design, consulting, administration, ethics, and leadership. You are not meant to remain only a specialist. You can become the person who understands the technical issue, explains the commercial consequence, influences leadership, designs the framework, and supervises implementation. Your Dashamsha ascendant Lord Mercury occupies Aquarius in the 9th house with Venus and the Sun. This places professional intelligence in the domain of higher knowledge, policy, consulting, training, publishing, international networks, ethics, technology, institutional development, and thought leadership. Mercury and Venus give persuasive communication, product thinking, negotiation, design intelligence, and the ability to make complex knowledge understandable. The Sun adds authority, visibility, and the possibility of recognition. However, the Sun in Aquarius does not automatically obey hierarchy. It wants leadership through ideas, reform, systems, and contribution rather than ceremonial status. Ketu in Virgo in the 4th house of the Dashamsha gives precision, debugging ability, diagnostic intelligence, and specialist competence. It can also create emotional detachment from workplaces where routine becomes meaningless. You may leave mentally before you resign physically. Your D10 deity code. Your professional ascendant falls under Agni. Agni gives determination, creative force, resilience, transformation, and the ability to restart after professional difficulty. Your career develops through challenge rather than comfort. When your environment becomes stagnant, your motivation begins to burn inwardly and turn into frustration. Mars operates through Indra. This gives command, strategic foresight, crisis leadership, authority, and the ability to take charge when others hesitate. Even when you enter as a contributor, your professional energy eventually seeks influence over direction. Jupiter operates through Yama. This gives responsibility, ethical judgment, compliance awareness, law, standards, institutional discipline, and professional accountability. Your reputation strengthens when people trust your principles, not merely your intelligence. Saturn, Mercury, and the Moon operate through Asura. This is a dominant professional vibration. Asura gives ambition, competitiveness, dissatisfaction with traditional methods, strategic disruption, and the urge to outperform established systems. This can make you an exceptional changemaker. It can also make you chronically dissatisfied if every organization appears outdated, slow, or politically compromised. Venus, Rahu, and Ketu operate through Varuna. Varuna gives communication, diplomacy, mediation, networking, adaptability, relationship intelligence, and the ability to connect different groups. This helps you translate between technical experts, business leaders, clients, teams, and the public. The Sun operates through Ananta. Ananta gives long-term thinking, stability, legacy building, structural vision, and success that becomes stronger with time. Your most meaningful work is not likely to be a quick win. It is likely to be something that lasts, scales, or continues influencing people after your direct involvement ends. Your deity pattern is therefore dominated by Asura and Varuna, supported by Indra, Agni, Yama, and Ananta. This means you are a competitive reformer who must learn diplomatic power. You are not here merely to oppose outdated systems. You are here to replace them with something more intelligent, ethical, commercially viable, and sustainable. You enter your dominant psychological archetypes. Your strongest archetype is the architect. You are designed to convert complexity into frameworks, systems, methodologies, operating models, products, policies, or structures that other people can use. Your second archetype is the strategist. You naturally think several steps ahead. You analyze consequences, timing, risk, sequencing, and long-term outcomes. Your third archetype is the reformer. You notice what is inefficient, unfair, outdated, or structurally weak, and you feel an internal pressure to improve it. Your fourth archetype is the arbitrator. Exalted Saturn in Libra, strong Jupiter, and Venus-Mercury intelligence give the capacity to compare evidence, judge competing priorities, negotiate, manage risk, and create balanced decisions. Your fifth archetype is the executor. Mars rising and strong Saturn give precision, delivery, courage, and the ability to finish what others only discuss. The administrator is also strong. You can create workflows, governance schedules, controls, standards, and repeatable systems. The innovator and visionary appear as supporting archetypes. The maverick appears as a shadow when you feel intellectually underused, controlled, ignored, or trapped inside incompetent leadership. At such times, you may want to abandon the entire structure rather than negotiate a better position. Your maturity lies in disrupting strategically rather than reacting emotionally. The careers that fit you best. Your strongest professional direction lies at the intersection of technology, strategy, systems, governance, finance, research, and human behavior. You can excel in enterprise architecture, solutions architecture, systems engineering, automation, artificial intelligence strategy, data architecture, technical program leadership, product strategy, digital transformation, cybersecurity governance, risk technology, or innovation portfolio management. You are also suited to program management, project controls, operational excellence, process redesign, quality systems, compliance, audit, governance, regulatory work, and complex organizational transformation. A second powerful pathway lies in finance and controlled resources. This includes financial risk, fintech strategy, investment research, insurance analytics, wealth systems, audit governance, commercial due diligence, regulatory finance, and resource planning. You are better suited to the analytical, strategic, institutional, or governance side of finance than to reckless speculation. A third pathway involves consulting, professional education, research, policy, publishing, training, or thought leadership. You can become highly effective at taking a difficult subject, discovering its underlying structure, and teaching decision makers how to use it. Psychology, behavioral research, astrology, counseling, diagnostics, or transformational guidance can emerge as a specialized secondary profession or later career chapter. Your chart supports hidden knowledge, psychological depth, human pattern analysis, and advisory work, but it demands method and discipline rather than theatrical claims. Healthcare technology, clinical research, hospital systems, diagnostic operations, public health analytics, or medical administration may also suit you when supported by relevant training. The professional situations you are likely to encounter. You may repeatedly enter workplaces where leadership is unclear, systems are failing, people are protecting territory, and responsibility is being pushed downward. You may be given difficult assignments because others know you can handle them, but recognition may initially remain with more visible people. You may encounter intense bosses, secretive decision-making, political colleagues, or senior figures who respect competence but resist being challenged. You may experience sudden opportunities through networks, international contacts, digital platforms, or people outside your immediate professional circle. Your career may contain visible phases followed by withdrawal, restructuring, study, or reinvention. You may outgrow jobs faster than organizations are ready to promote you. You may also become the unofficial rescuer of failing projects. This can build reputation, but it can also trap you in permanent crisis management. Your task is to stop being merely the person who fixes the emergency and become the person who controls the system that prevents the emergency. What will not work for you? A repetitive role with no intellectual growth will eventually drain you. A political organization that rewards obedience but punishes insight will provoke detachment or rebellion. A role that demands emotional labor without authority will exhaust you. A designation that offers status but no meaningful influence will become empty. A position where responsibility is high but decision rights are withheld will create resentment. Purely speculative business without governance can produce unnecessary volatility. You must also avoid becoming indispensable at a level below your capability. Organizations may happily allow you to solve senior-level problems while keeping you in a lower title if you do not negotiate clearly. How you improve your career. First, move from problem solver to system owner. Do not merely correct recurring failures. Design the process that prevents them. Second, convert hidden knowledge into visible intellectual property. Create frameworks, methodologies, research papers, training modules, diagnostic tools, templates, reports, courses, or repeatable advisory products. Third, communicate with precision. Define the problem, state assumptions, quantify consequences, identify risk, recommend action, and document the decision. Fourth, build deliberate visibility. You do not need constant attention, but senior decision makers must understand what you contribute. Fifth, develop commercial awareness. Learn how your work affects revenue, cost, risk, efficiency, reputation, customer behavior, and long-term value. Sixth, stop accepting responsibility without authority. Ask who owns the decision, what your mandate includes, and how success will be measured. Seventh, build a portfolio career over time. One stable professional pillar can provide authority and income, while a second pillar in consulting, research, teaching, writing, counseling, or specialized guidance can provide independence and meaning. Zara, your chart does not promise a straight road. It promises something more valuable: the capacity to become increasingly difficult to replace. Your real success begins when you stop asking, which job will accept me, and begin asking, which complex system am I uniquely equipped to understand, redesign, and lead? For a career reading that works for your real life, rather than forcing you into a generic job label, get in touch with me. Your chart is not merely a profession selector. It is a diagnostic map showing how you create value, where you surrender power, what kind of people will test you, and what you must master to build a career that is successful, meaningful, and unmistakably your own.